Miss Karen, right?
Order filled.
All right, let's see what we can get today. Looks like today is one of those days where we might get a little Santa Claus rally. Who knows? But we're just gonna look for higher liquidity right now. So let's take a look. If we're looking at the NQs right now, we'll start there first. Looks like 250 liquidity is starting to show up right at the 16,250. So if we get continue to going higher, wouldn't be surprised if we try to tag that. Um, Trying to see if we can see anything that might pop out, but pretty much the open 630 and it just away we went. So the trend analyzer is your friend from TTW. If you see it, like how it's stair stepping up, please try to follow the stairs. Looks like the up
Buyers
going up. Anytime you see this area where it starts to consolidate, that's a good indication that we might get some acceptance at this price. But be ready for short or long. If you have wiggle room, try not to get trade on the wrong side, because you don't want to be up long up here and then all of a sudden it goes short. So if you see the trend analyzer break, uh, just keep your stops ready. If you see the VWAP break, definitely get out if you are long at the top. Don't need to hold the top if it's not gonna go any higher. So let's see what else. The point of controls are going to be off a little bit. For the NQ, the point of control is 985, but normally that will switch with the volume of the market for today. So once we get more volume in, that should be somewhere up here if we continue to hold. Let's see. Now for the ES, let's take a look. ES, we good. Looks like we got just under the 45.90. Some liquidity start to show up, so don't be surprised if we try to tag that. So that's that right here. So 485, just under the 45.90. So if we can get through this 45.80, that's pretty much a chunky area of sellers trying to keep us down. If we can get through that area, we definitely will probably test higher. Yes, probably the best way to open up and have two different futures on the same screen is on your end. So if you decide that you want to have a what is it, an NQ and an ES, you just pick one, right click twice, and it'll give you a picture in picture option if you're watching it on a computer. Yeah, don't be safe while you're driving on the roads, please. But yes, the 250 is just an area that's starting to show liquidity. Not saying that
Order
that's what
filled.
we're going to, but don't be surprised if we see that. I would expect maybe the 200 more of a reasonable area, because that's where we see actual amount of liquidity. Like I said, the data that we have here is skewed because we are only looking at the data for the last hour or so. So but definitely, if we start to come back, it looks like we do have a lot of buyers in the market. So They might be taking a break for now. But if we see the 112, that's where we had some selling. Definitely, that's right there near VWAP. So don't be surprised if the sellers try to step in. But that was the only area that I have currently with the data that I'm looking at that I saw any selling for sure. But that could have been when we had that run on the upside. People trying to get out.
Order filled.
Just got run over.
Order filled.
Stop ES buy. Stop NQ
the
buy.
sellers try to step in, but that was the only area that I have currently with the data that I'm looking at that I saw any selling for sure. But that could have been when we had that run on the upside. People trying to get out.
Order filled.
Just got run over.
Order filled.
Stop ES buy. Stop NQ buy.
Sellers try to step in, but that was the only area that I have currently with the data that I'm looking at that I saw any selling for sure. But that could have been when we had that run on the upside. People trying to get out.
Order filled.
Just got run over.
Order filled.
Stop ES buy. Stop NQ buy.
Order filled.
Yeah, as I predicted, it looks like point of control is migrated up here with the current data. Still have higher volume at a lower set. It looks like it's starting to migrate up. Oh, nope, that's just the current right here. So my other chart is also matching up with this current point of control. So both point of controls are showing the highest volume. So we are good to go. Higher volume now VWAP, I got 0.52 and it looks like VWAP is here kind of higher, so that's kind of misleading. But my other chart for the whole session it's 0.63 and let's see for 63. Yeah, so they're pretty much close. Not so bad. So 0.52 and it looks like VWAP is here kind of higher, so that's kind of misleading. But for the whole session it's 0.63 and let's see for 63. Yeah, so they're pretty much close. Not so bad. So 0.52 and it looks like VWAP is here kind of higher, so that's kind of misleading. But for the whole session it's 0.63 and let's see for 63. Yeah, so they're pretty much close. Not so bad. Just trying to look on the ES downside if there's any. Not much liquidity sitting down below, but don't be surprised if we get something to show up. Right now, everything seems to be on the selling side, and it looks like we have a lot of buyers that are here. If there's any, let's see if it can keep that going. Sitting down below, but don't be surprised if we get something to show up. Right now, everything seems to be on the selling side, and it looks like we have a lot of buyers that are here. If there's any, let's see if it can keep that going. Sitting down below, but
Iceberg NQ sell.
if we get something to show up. Right now, everything seems to be on the selling side, and it looks like we have a lot of buyers that are here. Let's see if it can keep that going.
Iceberg NQ sell.
Yeah, we have it's a large order block sitting at the 120. So on the NQ.
Yes.
It looks like the 78. So right here, there was a large order block. So let's see where it is. Was it this iceberg right here? Large order block sitting at yes, sir. 103.21, and it would have been this iceberg. Where'd it go? It looks like the 78. So right here, there was a large order block. So that's on the upside. So it must have been these back here. So all right. So we're looking at these volumes on the way up. 321, and it would have been. We're kind of testing those on NQ. Where'd it go? It looks like the 78. So right here, there was a large order block. So that's on the upside. So it must have been these back here. So all right. So we're looking at. Right, here we go. Some selling.
Seller sweep ES. Stop NQ sell. Iceberg ES buy. Iceberg NQ buy. Seller sweep NQ.
Right, here we go. So selling.
Seller sweep ES. Stop NQ sell. Iceberg ES buy. Iceberg NQ
It looks like
buy.
you can see all the
Seller sweep
deltas right
NQ.
here on the volumetrics. They're all red, so that's a good signal right there. Looks like it was red from 46, so the 46 would have been right here on the ES, and you can see all the selling pressure that went down. Looking over here, looks like that was at the 47, so just a little bit you can see we start to have some heavy deltas. So if you were looking at this volumetric delta bar before I was talking, you would have been in a good position to go short. Right after the 46 right here, you would have been able to catch this short right here, take you down. So you would have had double negative 306, then with a little fade after the dip, and then some more selling on that pressure. So watching these volumetric bars give you a good indication of a quick move. Same thing down here. Got some great selling pressure taking us down. A fade bar, and then
Stop filled.
right back to selling. So some great information on the charts. Please use it. Mods, you guys have control. I'm gonna walk away for a minute, get myself a cup of coffee. Down here, got some great selling pressure taking us down. A fade bar, and then
Stop filled.
right back to selling. So some great information on the charts. Please use it. Mods, you guys have control. I'm gonna walk away for a minute, get myself a cup of coffee. Down here, got some great selling pressure taking us down. A fade bar, and then
Stop filled.
right back to selling. So some great information on the charts. Please use it. Mods, you guys have control. I'm gonna walk away for a minute, get myself a cup of coffee. Down here, got some great selling pressure taking us down. A fade bar, and then
Stop filled.
right back to selling. So some great information on the charts. Please use it. Mods, you guys have control. I'm gonna walk away for a minute, get myself a cup of coffee.
Stop filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Iceberg NQ buy.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Iceberg NQ buy.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Iceberg NQ buy.
Order filled. Order filled.
Iceberg ES buy.
Order filled.
Iceberg ES buy. Stock NQ cell. Stock NQ cell. Stock NQ cell. Stock ES cell. Stock ES cell. Buyer sweep ES. Buyer sweep NQ.
Stop field.
And buyers ES.
Stop field.
Absorption sellers ES. Absorption sellers NQ. Stock NQ cell. Stock ES cell. Stock ES cell. Buyer sweep ES. Buyer sweep NQ.
Stop field.
Buyers ES.
Stop field.
Absorption sellers ES. Buyer sweep NQ. Sellers NQ. Iceberg NQ cell. Absorption buyers NQ.
Stop field. Stop field.
Absorption sellers ES. Buyer sweep NQ. Sellers NQ. Iceberg NQ cell. Absorption buyers NQ. Iceberg NQ buy. Seller sweep NQ. Stock NQ cell. Stock
Stop
ES
field.
cell.
Stop field.
Buyer sweep NQ. Sellers NQ. Iceberg NQ cell. Absorption buyers NQ. Iceberg NQ buy. Seller sweep NQ. Stock NQ cell. Stock ES cell. Seller sweep NQ. Buyer sweep NQ. Iceberg NQ cell. Absorption buyers NQ. Seller sweep ES. Seller sweep NQ. Iceberg ES cell. Buyer sweep NQ. Iceberg NQ cell. Absorption buyers NQ. Seller sweep ES. Seller sweep NQ. Iceberg ES cell. Buyer sweep NQ. Iceberg NQ cell. Absorption buyers NQ. Seller sweep ES. Seller sweep NQ. Iceberg ES cell. Absorption buyers ES. Absorption buyers ES. Absorption buyers ES. Stock ES cell. Absorption sellers ES. Stock NQ cell.
Mm.
I guess it depends on how I was doing on the year.
Wow. D, that's some pretty stiff rejection up there.
Yeah, I'm still waiting because there was 30-minute chart, there was a rejection of this little step.
Buyer sweep ES. Iceberg NQ sell. Buyer sweep NQ. Absorptions buyers NQ. Absorption buyers ES. Buyer sweep NQ. Absorptions buyers NQ. Stop NQ buy. Buyer sweep NQ. Absorption buyers ES. Absorptions buyers NQ. Iceberg NQ sell. Buyer sweep ES. Stop NQ sell. Seller sweep NQ. Stop NQ sell. Absorptions buyers NQ. Buyer sweep ES. Buyer sweep NQ. Stop NQ buy. Iceberg NQ sell.
Order filled.
Buyer sweep ES. Buyer sweep NQ. Iceberg NQ sell. Absorptions buyers NQ.
Order filled. Stop filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Stop NQ cell. Absorption sellers ES. Stop NQ sell. Stop NQ sell. Stop NQ sell. Seller sweep NQ. Stop NQ sell. Stop NQ sell.
Order filled.
Stop NQ sell. Stop NQ sell. Seller sweep ES. Absorption sellers ES.
Stop filled. Stop filled.
Absorptions buyers NQ. Buyer sweep NQ. Buyer sweep NQ. Buyer sweep NQ. Buyer sweep NQ. Stop NQ buy. Iceberg ES sell. Seller sweep NQ. Buyer sweep NQ. Absorptions buyers NQ. Absorption buyers ES. Buyer sweep NQ. Buyer sweep ES. Stop ES buy. Absorption buyers ES. Stop NQ buy.
All right, looks like we got a little range going, so we'll try to work on that next. So basically what I'm starting to see set up right now in the market, it looks like we might have a range. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in our initial balances for both the ES and the NQ once that time is taken care of. Looks like I could probably get the lows because we're right in the middle of the two markets. So we'll do the lows first. I think 155. We'll do the lows over here. Get you guys set
Seller
up.
sweep NQ. Absorption sellers ES.
There we go. We got a nice little range to pay attention. So this range will reflect the last hour from the open. So anytime we go outside of these high and low areas, then we'll be trading in that direction.
Absorption
If we're
buyers
within
ES.
the range, we're going to be chopping in between. If you have a break on the low where we fail the low test and we go back up, target the VWAP, similar to what happened at this level right here for the NQ. See, we went all the way up, faded off of this low area, and now we're trying to target the VWAP. So if we break
Stop
that,
NQ buy.
you probably want to get maybe like a 50% range of that. So we'll do a horizontal line. We'll plug it in. We'll look. Let's see. It looks like this general area right there. We'll call that the 50 from this VWAP. But you know what? Second that, we'll just clear that. We'll leave it alone in case we got a better area. Yeah, somebody asked a question about micro high volume nodes. If you type in volume profile, Nightbot will give you a link to a website that I found using Google that gives you some pretty good information. Also, if you have a question that's something similar to that, I have like the cheap version of Chat GTP on the chat. It's the trigger word is brain. So anything that you want to ask a question, the free Chat GTP can answer it if you use brain in what is.
Stop NQ buy. Stop ES buy. Stop NQ sell.
Global Plus a month is like $100 or something like that. No, it's either $100 or $80. I'm not sure. It's I'm actually a lifetime subscriber, so I had that one-time pay. So ooh, money. It's raining on the ES. Thank you very much. I gotta. What is it? I'm gonna make that Camaro meme soon. So let's see if I can work on it.
Absorption buyers ES. Stop NQ buy.
The only reason why we might chop all day is because we don't really see any heavy liquidity showing up on the ES. They're pretty much holding out on this the higher time. I mean, the higher level up here. Looks like just under the 45.90. The NQ is not really showing much liquidity either. The same thing as over here as well. It's just kind of like very thin. So normally when we have such a thin book like today, more than likely we're going to be trading against some of the what do you call the algos that are out there. So be mindful of how this is going to chop around. So remember, protect your capital. Use your stops.
Stop NQ buy. Buyer sweep NQ. Buyer sweep NQ. Stop NQ buy. Seller sweep ES. Stop NQ buy. Buyer sweep ES. Absorption buyers ES. Buyer sweep NQ. Stop NQ buy. Stop NQ buy. Stop NQ buy. Stop NQ sell. Stop NQ sell. Iceberg ES sell. Absorption buyers ES. Stop NQ sell. Seller sweep NQ.